Okay. So let's see, where's my script here? All right. So the agency alliance is something that we created. There's 4 agency owners here on the app. We've got Yetta, the owner of Brown Talent Agency, Ashley Talent Agency, myself with Breaking Records, and Zeditor with Zenith Talent Agency. So the agency alliance is a group of agency owners on Bigo who really take the leadership seriously. We want all of our hosts to be successful. So we do this training every Sunday. Moving forward, I have sent you guys the new training schedule as well. We go over basically the same thing, but every agent has a different take on some things, and so sometimes it's good to tune in more than once, especially if you don't remember some things. And this is where you guys can ask all the questions that you want and have us here face to face. So it's pretty cool because a lot of leaders won't do this. We also started that agency alliance chat, so you guys should both be in that. Nico, you're with Breaking Records too, right? Or which agency?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Okay, cool. You guys are both my hosts, so that's good. That chat has all of the hosts from the 4 agencies in it. So take advantage of that when wanting to do trades and so on, and business and networking, because when you do trades with your agency percentage, you can only get 40% of your monthly quota from within the agency, including myself. So that's why you won't see your agent owners gifting a whole lot. And if they do, it'll be from a different profile, because we have to make sure that you don't pass that 40%. So if you want to do trades with somebody, just hit me up on my direct messages on WhatsApp and let me know. And I can find somebody, that's trustworthy if you don't, feel comfortable with finding your own. But it's good to, find your own. And then you can always ask me, on the side too, if I know who they are, and so on and so forth. So a little bit about Bigo. It was founded in Singapore in 2014. They launched the app in March of 2016. What's up, Brittany? And Bigo stands for Before I Get Old. So it's kind of like Bigo's way of saying YOLO, which is kind of cool. There's over 400 million users on the app, and we're in over 150 countries with 18 different languages, with our CEO being David Lee. Okay. It's just kind of good to know those different things, if people ask you on your live and stuff like that. So it's a free app. It lets users make video calls, live stream their activities to friends and strangers, and anyone can broadcast from anywhere at any time with anyone, as long as you have Wi-Fi. So how you get paid. I'm going to bring up a picture of the pay chart for you guys real quick. I know that we all briefly went over this before, but I'm just going to bring it up for you. And I'm also going to put it in the chat. That way you guys can save it. Okay, so let me see here. Can I just click and drag? I can. So boom, there's that. If you guys want to pull that up. So with the pay chart, only for your first month as a host, the N1 and N2 tiers are only for your first month. So I wouldn't even, pay attention to that at all. You're always going to have to hit those 30 hours with your 40,000 beans. That's going to always be the minimum, except for that very first month. Bigo just started doing the N1 and N2 tiers a couple of weeks ago to give new broadcasters a little bit of incentive, because we know that it can be discouraging in your first couple of months while everything's really slow. And sometimes you feel like you're just on the screen talking to yourselves, and, it gets kind of boring. And, they gave us that incentive to try to, give you a little bit of money to compensate from, not maybe getting as many gifts. And I always suggest too, if you guys aren't hard up for money, to take that $100 or $200 that you get from those N1 and N2 tiers and do trades with other hosts out of the agency to give you that little bit of a boost, towards that first goal on your first full month, and so on and so forth. But Brittany's actually been my host now for, this is going to be her second month, I believe. And she's already hit the first tier. So I think she hit the N2 tier. And I can tell you guys from personal experience and watching all of my hosts who's successful and who's not, the more FaceTime that you have on this app, the better it's going to be, especially in the beginning, because nobody knows who you are. And like I said earlier, there's 400 million people on this app. So people are coming in and out of your room all day. They only have that first split 3 seconds of seeing your live to say, oh, it's engaging, or oh, it's not, and slide on to the next one. So you always want to make sure that you have a ring light, that you have your phone sitting up on a tripod, that you're not holding your phone and looking at the bottom of the screen, because the comments when you're live are on the bottom left of your screen. So if you're holding your phone and they can only see your forehead, well, they're not even going to be able to see anything at all. And people are just going to swipe through and go right past that. You want to make sure, go on Amazon and buy some LED string lights for $10 and put it on a design on the wall behind you and turn them on, just something that makes it look cool, eye popping, to get people to stop and look at your broadcast. So we're not going to go through all of the different tiers. It's pretty self-explanatory. I would just base your hours on your being goals, but if you're doing what you should be doing to try to get that traction, you shouldn't have any problem in getting your hours, because you should be doing more hours than you can even get credit for in one day. You can get credit for up to 2 hours in a day. You have to do at least 30 minutes. And I know that you guys already know that because I trained you. So on our first call. So how to broadcast. It's really super important to welcome everybody that's coming in and thanking everybody for your gifts. Even the small ones you should thank people for, because they're going to see that and be appreciative and excited about receiving them. So it makes them want to keep gifting and come back and see you again. Some broadcasters will get a 1 or 2 diamond gift and they won't even acknowledge it. Well, some people test the waters first and see if you're even going to be, humble enough to appreciate a half a cent, gift. So just always be appreciative and show them. Obviously, when you're getting shields and dragons and so on, cheesy as it is, oh my God, thank you so much. Throw up your heart, blow some kisses, make them feel really appreciated, because that is going to make them keep coming back. And when you take a day off, because you only have to do 30 hours in a month. If you're getting a lot of gifts and you want to do the bare minimum and be that type of host, by all means, do what you do. But when you take a day off, you're giving those gifters a chance to find somebody else. So just keep that in mind. You don't want people stealing the gifts that you should be getting. Just go live every day. Try to do 1 to 2 hours. Don't get banned. What I suggest you doing is screen recording your lives. If you have an iPhone, it already comes with that feature. I'm not sure about the Android because I've never owned one, but you can download a screen recording app on your phone as well. And welcome. And screen record your lives. And when you get off, if you didn't get banned, you can delete it right away. The point of that is being that the AI is watching. It's not a real person with sense. Rules are intense, so you don't want to trigger the system. And with that being said, these computer systems, these robots are watching us. If you're smoking your vape on the camera, you're going to get banned. If you pull your face off the camera, hit your vape, come back, you're not going to get banned. Even if you blow the smoke out like this, it doesn't matter. You just cannot put the call to the action of you actually smoking on the camera. That goes with weed, cigarettes, everything. As far as alcohol goes, you can have it in a cup, take it out of the tequila bottle off the camera, pour it into a cup with your mixer, whatever you want to do. Some people do shots for shields here on Bigo. It's really successful with some people. They like to see people get drunk. That's fine. You can promote that, but I would just be careful. Don't put it in a shot glass and take the shot. Pour it into a cup and take a sip of it. Just be smart about it. There's no weapons whatsoever. If you're going to be cooking, you can chop up your vegetables and put the knife down. That's fine. The knife can be in the camera, but as soon as you pick it up and start waving it around, it becomes a weapon and you will get banned. No touching your body. If you have an itch, okay, well, they just thought that you're groping yourself. So don't scratch. Go off the camera, scratch, and come back. If you have to adjust your bra straps, whatever, do it all off the camera and come right back. There's no casinos allowed, no gambling. So if you're walking through a casino in Vegas or somewhere else, just keep the phone really close to your face so that way you can't see the table games and everything going on beside you. The sound is fine. You just can't be at, a slot machine and showing the slot machine and so on and so forth. No gore. We just passed Halloween, so we shouldn't have to worry about that. But if there's any makeup artists in here, don't do any blood scenes, any cuts, anything like that. Even fake blood will get you banned immediately. If you have a cut on your finger or something and you want to show Bigo how cool it is, don't do that. You'll get banned too. No gore. They just take that very seriously. Don't talk about terrorists. Don't talk about Hitler. Don't talk about any of that stuff on the app. Just keep that, for your personal life. No moaning or sex sounds. No sex, obviously. And that goes for songs too. For example, one of the, what's her name? Body yaddy yaddy, that song, it starts with a bunch of moaning in the beginning. That'll get you banned. So just be very careful. No drugs, no paraphernalia. Don't sniff any lines of cocaine. I don't care what you do in your own time, but don't do it on the camera. Don't, talk about, I do Molly all day long. Like, just don't talk about it on live. Nobody wants to hear that. This app is all about, promoting positive, and Bigo doesn't like drugs. So, and there's absolutely no bullying tolerated. You will see on some people's pages that they get away with that. I'm not really sure how they still do it because they're really cracking down. Somebody had killed themselves recently over bullying on the app. So just don't bully anybody. Don't give out your personal information. Don't get involved in those groups where people go and find people's personal information. There are people on Bigo, especially in those really big drama groups. They're always talking about where people live and going to show up at their house and all that stuff. That'll get you permanently banned and possibly press charges against you. Swimming suits are allowed only in the pool or a body of water. So if you want to be in your bikini, just make sure that you're all the way in the water. And everybody will have different things that they get away with or not. I can't be in a bikini whatsoever, but you'll see girls in a bikini, like super close up pictures of their private parts as their like profile picture, and it's been there for months. I don't know how some people get away with it and don't, but just don't press, your luck. And all of these rules apply for your cover photos, your profile pictures, and your bar posts. When you're on your live and somebody's being maybe too sexual to you in the comments, or rude or whatever, the best idea is to mute them instead of kicking them out. And the mutes and the kickouts only last for that broadcast. As soon as you log off your live and log back on again, those people can come back in and do it again unless you block them. But I suggest muting is better because you want to keep those viewers and just make them shut up. Let them sit there and watch you all you want, just mute them. If somebody comes in and they're like super racist or say some stuff about like slaves or whatever, like I just kick them out and block them because I don't deal with that. You can do your lives how you want. But keep in mind, you can only have a cap of 1,000 permanent blocks. So at some point you'll have to go in and delete people. So that way you can block more. The daily task list, which is the stars and the boxes, and the heat list. Those are two very important lists here on Bigo that people can go and find you on. The daily tasks, it stars and the boxes, those start over every day at midnight. And that's because Bigo's headquarters is in LA. So everything on the app is going to be in PST. Now, people's private events, they might say, EST or whatever, but anything that you sign up for, PKs, family events, agency events, new houses, all of those times that are listed are always going to be in Pacific Standard Time. So just remember that. And I will send you guys a time zone chart before we end, so you guys all have one, but I didn't save that one, so I'll have to do that. So the daily stars and boxes, those are going to reset, like I said, every day. And that is basically just a system of clout for everybody on Bigo. So it starts at 1 star and goes to 5. And after that, it goes to 1 box, and it goes to as many boxes and beyond. It's based on how many gifts, how many beans you're receiving, and how many people are sending those. It used to just be the beans, but they added the part to where you need to have like a certain amount of gifters that it's coming from as well, to make it a little bit harder to move on to the next star, the next box. And you can see that when you're live, right underneath your profile on the left top side, there'll be a little star icon, and you can check out to see how far away you are, because it's really good to like always do call to action things on your live, like checking your star list thing and being like, hey, I'm only 50 beans away from my next star. Will you guys help me out? And people will be like, oh yeah, I want to help her, and I'll do it. So that's one way to like get extra gifts. There's a blue plus sign up next to your name. So always say, hey, you guys, click that blue plus sign. Make sure you give me a follow. That's another really good call to action. And also reminding people to tap your screen too, because that raises the heat. So the heat list is a list that shows the top broadcasters in real time. People can find that heat list on the very first page on Bigo right here. And this is how people find you when they're not already on a live. So if you're on, let me see what I'm showing here. Okay, so on this screen, if you just scroll down, there's gonna be one that looks like that. And that's the heat list. It's always got like an orange background with a little cup and it says real-time heat list. And you can click on that. And that's going to just show you all the broadcasters that are on the heat list from number 1 till whatever. So a lot of people will go to that heat list just to see the top broadcasters. So it's really good to always be on that. And when you're on this heat list page, there's a little question mark in the top corner that you can click on. And that's going to tell you what is heat. Heat related to the following factors: people recharging, gift givers, the live status, which is the number of users in your live, the number of VIPs in your live, the user interaction. That means people that are like in your text typing to you and you typing back to them, that raises your heat. Hi, welcome guys. The gift income, meaning how many gifts that you receive, and also how many people are sending you gifts at the same time too. So if you just start having like a whole bunch of people gifting you at the same time, your heat is going to shoot up. And then ask people, remind them, please tap the screen, you know, and thank everybody for the taps and everything as well. So that's just a little bit about that. Welcome everyone. We got started, so we are only about a fourth of the way done. You guys only missed a couple of things, but this will be recorded as well. So I will post that in the group chats after if you want to go back and see what you missed, okay? Now let's see. So the next thing is your fan badge, your fan group, and your fan lottery. This is really good to set up. So when you go into somebody's live, whoops. I mean, I'm trying to find somebody that has a badge on real quick.
Do you and this person or even live in the same state?
No, don't talk to me. Okay, so when you're looking down here, let me see what I'm showing you again. Whoops. It's going to be hard to see, but the comments. Okay, so these comments down here, next to their name, if they had a badge on, there was a badge right there. It's gonna be really hard to see, but it's gonna be right next to their name. When you join somebody's fan group, they're gonna have your fan badge on every time they come into your room. So it's really cool to set up. And the way that you do that is you go to your back end of your profile on this page where you have your messages and all that. If you scroll down, there's gonna be one that says fan group, okay? It looks a little different than mine right now because I already have mine set up, but it shows everybody's fan groups that I'm in. And then I can also see who's in my fan group. So when you go to fan group, it's going to prompt you to set it up. You only get 6 characters and it's just like your Bigo ID. You can only change it one time for free. The next time is going to cost you $100, 50 VIP points. So make sure that you set it and you double check it before you press submit. You can also use emojis in that too. Keep in mind, some emojis may take up 2 characters depending on how big they are. So you get up to 5 characters or up to 6 characters. So that's really cool. Like some people, you know, put like a small abbreviation of their name or whatever you want to call your fan group. So that's how you set that up. Once you have your fan group initiated, now people can do fan lotteries in your room. A fan lottery is a way for you to set an amount of beans or diamonds that these people that come into your and join your lottery can win back with a call to action along with it. So let me see if I can. I'm not going to waste the beans and set one up right now. I'll do a how-to video on that and show you guys. Let me write that down. How to set a fan lottery, because that'll be really good for you guys to have. The fan lottery is going to be on the bottom of the screen when you're in somebody's live. It's going to be where like the Yummy and all those games are that always rotates. It's a little circle at like the bottom middle right of your screen. It's always constantly rotating with Yummy and Fisher and all these games. If you click on that, there'll be an option that you can do a fan lottery in somebody's room. You can only do that once you have your fan badge set up. So make sure that you set that up. And you can set up the fan lottery as a share lottery, a gift lottery, or a password lottery. So what you'll do is you'll set either beans or diamonds, whatever you want to give away. And then you will pick either the share, the password, or the gift. And the best one that I always see is either the share or the password, because people have to click that pink heart. They'll send you 10 diamonds to join your fan group. And then they have to send the 10 diamonds to join the fan lottery. So welcome, Miles, and everybody. Miles right down there is Zen's Cowboys, my agency assistant too. So if you guys ever need any more questions, you can ask him as well. He also teaches on his live. So it's just like another cool way to bring a whole bunch of people into your room. Be mindful that most of the time when you do these fan lotteries, it's bringing people in from other regions, and you can only get 20% of your quota from out of region. You have to minus those beans from your monthly quota, which I'll show you how to do in a screenshot as well. You'll get messages from Bigo in your Bigo messages. Daily or bi-daily. They're sometimes a little bit late, and they'll tell you exactly where you're at for your quota and what your out of region beans are. So you have to minus where you're at for your quota, minus those out of region beans from that, and that's exactly where you're at. Don't forget to do that, because that's one way that Bigo tries to trick us into not being able to get paid. Okay, so be mindful of that. Make sure that you're networking with people that are in your region, because you don't want to screw up that percentage. Let's see. Okay. So yeah, you can say that call to action too. So after they follow you with the blue plus sign at the top left of your screen next to your name, you can then tell them, hey, click that pink heart. It'll send me 10 beans and you'll join my fan group and you can do my lotteries. And it's always good to just know these things. That way you can do call to action. So one of the features on your live screen when you're live is going to be a Pac-Man button, and that's going to be at the bottom right of your screen. There are a bunch of different things in there. There's a wheel that you can set up. If you have the wheel up on your page during your live, you cannot get any lines or PKs. If somebody tries to line you, it'll say you're busy. So make sure that if you have a PK coming up, that you don't have that wheel up. And the wheel, you can put whatever you want on the wheel, and you can set whatever you want to get from people. Like I say, if you want to spin my wheel, you have to send me a shield, and then I have like different prizes on the wheel. They won't let you do certain emojis on there, especially sexual looking emojis. Referring to, send me a shield and you get a sexy photo. You have to be, smart about how you put it on there, because they won't let you put like the drippy face or, the wet emoji or something like that. You know what I mean? You have to just be smart about it. But one of the most important ones under there is the match and the line feature. So the matching is a great way for you to meet new people on Bigo and to gain new followers. And it's a great way to network. The fans on the other side, so you guys are going to be on the screen side by side. The fans on the other side will be able to see you too. So you can, potentially get some of those fans from them. So if you're bored and you want to meet new people, you can go live and then press the matching. Matching does count towards your hours. And then if you want to get out of that match, that Pac-Man button that's at the bottom of the screen when you are matched with somebody will now say match. You can click that button and change to the next person or disconnect. So just be mindful of that, so you don't get stuck in there and have to close out your whole live. Just press that match button again and you'll be able to get out of it. And especially when you see somebody you don't want to match with, there's a lot of bullies on the matching portion. So you might have to skip through quite a few people before you find somebody nice. Because for some reason, all the shit talkers like to go on live and just start like roasting people, which is stupid. Don't let it get to you. Just move on to the next person. Those are clearly people that are not making money on Bigo because they're miserable. And a lot of those people, right. What's up?
Right.
And a lot of those people, I'm sure if you've matched, you've seen some of what I'm talking about, but we explain to all of our hosts that this is really good for you guys to network, because it really is, because those people on the other side, they're seeing you now and they never would have seen you before. So you're getting a whole nother hosts live paired with your live at the same time. So it's just really good to network. Do maybe 10, 15 minutes a day during your live and just try it out. See if you like it. I personally don't like it. Pretty women on here, you will get hit on a lot. And sometimes it just gets really degrading and old. And, I just get tired of it. But, try it out. See if it works for you. I like to do it because I will just go to the next person and say, hey, do you want to hear me sing a song? And sometimes they'll be like, no, fuck you, I don't want to hear nothing. Okay, well, on to the next person. But half the time they'll be like, yeah, I really want to hear you. And now all those people got to see me sing, and that's what I'm on here for. And now all those people are following me. So that's where it could be really good. The next button underneath that is going to be the line feature. So the line feature is a way that you can literally line with a friend or your PK opponents. You can do it with anyone here on the app. The line feature is not an official battle. It does look exactly like a PK. You can set it from 5 minutes, 10, 15 to 20 minutes. You can do 1 to 3 rounds, and you can just basically get your hours with another host hanging out. So if Brittany and I just wanted to hang out on Bigo, she goes live, I go live, I go to the line feature. I add her Bigo ID in there, and then it matches us together. She has to accept it on her side, and then it matches us together. Now we're side by side, and we're doing a PK where people, you know, it's incentivizing people to gift us, but it's not official. We're not going to get any rebates, but now we're both doing our time together. So you can do those too with other hosts that you like and that you want to get to know, and so on and so forth. When you win, you get a crown on your head for half an hour, and when you lose, you get tears. So that's kind of funny too. And those last for 30 minutes. And to stop a line, you can just click on the gray button with the blue circle going around it that says line. Again, that Pac-Man button. It was a Pac-Man before. If you're in a line, now it's going to say line, and that's where you press that to disconnect. The player knockout, the PK, these are battles. They are referred to as a player knockout in China, and they are essentially a real-time competition between streamers. The winner is decided by the viewers. Whichever streamer ends up with more diamonds during the battle is declared the winner. When you find out that you have a PK, the first thing that you should do is go and follow your opponent. Now, each agency does their PK schedules differently, so please check directly with your agent on how you want them done. I know that I have a lot of breaking records people in here right now. The way that I do it is I have a Discord and a WhatsApp group specifically for PKs, and I hired Miss Sheila, and Sheila every morning will tell us who has PKs for today and tomorrow. Okay, if she gives you a PK 2 days in advance, make sure that you check the day of as well, that your opponent is still the same, because Bigo sometimes switches the opponents. But what I want you to do as soon as you find out that you have a PK is go and find that, get that Bigo ID of your opponent and send them a message on Bigo and give them a follow. You can always unfollow them later, but if you follow them, you can find them easier in your when you're actually setting up the PK. Ask them if they will be participating in the PK. Tell them when the PK is. Hey, we have a Candy Bash PK today at 4 p.m. PST. Are you going to be showing up? They're either going to A, not respond to you, B, they're going to respond to you and say yes, or C, they're going to respond to you and say no. Now, depending on that is what you do next. If they don't respond to you at all, you still have to try to line them first at the PK time, okay? If they say yes, great, that's perfect. If you want to take it an extra step, you can even ask them, especially if it's a very high percentage rebate. Not everybody will be honest, but for the most part, they will be, because we're all here to make money. If you ask them, are you trying to take this PK today, or do you mind if I win? I'm just asking because there's no point in us wasting our money. You know what I mean? Because there's really not. And a lot of us more experienced hosts will be like, hey, you can have this one today. I'll still, come up and PK you, but I'm not going to try to beat you. You know, like, why waste each other's money when we're all here to try to, make money? So then maybe later you can try to do a PK with them, and then you win, and so on and so forth. If they tell you no, they're not going to be there, at that point, you can automatically find a replacement, let your agent know who your replacement is. You can ask in the agency alliance chat, you can ask in your personal host chats, and also there is links to other replacement chat groups that you can get from us agency owners that you can join yourself to. And you'll just say in the chat, like, hey, I need to find a replacement for my Candy Bash PK right now. And there'll be people that pop up and say, hey, line this person. Just take that Bigo ID, copy and paste it into the PK, and just start it right away with that person. And then let your host know, your agent know at the end that there was a replacement done. I'm going to put in the chat right now. This is how we all want you to contact us about your replacements. Okay. So this is the message that you're going to send to any of your agents. We all want it done the same way. PK replacement needed. That's the message that you're going to send to them. But for us, you just need to say that I need you to put the replacement in. Put your host ID, the event, the time, and the date, the host ID that did not show up, and then your replacement host ID, because we have to send this information to our administrators to make sure that they make the change on the back end to make sure that you guys get paid your rebates. Okay. So once you have done your replacement or you've done your PK is finished, you want to screenshot the win and lose screen. Okay. I don't want to see a screenshot of you after the fact. I want to see the actual screenshot of the win and lose screen, which is going to look like this. Okay. So you got everybody on the same side. She's got the crown, he's got the tears. It says win and lose. I know it's not very clear, but it has the percentages underneath. This is the screen that we want to see. I'm sorry, it's I should have screen shared this instead. So let me make sure that I put this on my computer later too. That's the screen that we need. And for Breaking Records Agency, there is a screenshot section in the Discord where you put that and you put this information, this PK host event time and date underneath the photo and send it at the same time. This is so that you can delete all these screenshots off your phone. We have a reference to refer to when you need, if you say you didn't get a reward, we can go back and find out and see and send the proof in and get it. Without that, we won't be able to do that. So if you go by the PK button, there's two ways to start a PK. It's through the line version, which if you do the line first, which means you and that person just line up first, there's no settings saved. You can set the PK and send it after that. Otherwise, if you start it with the actual PK button, you have to go into the little settings wheel that's in the top right corner, and you have to change it to 20 minutes and 1 round. If you don't change it, it's going to be automatically set to like 5 minutes and 1 round, and then you're locked into it. You have to like cancel out your whole live and start the whole thing over again. So just make sure if you're starting it by the PK button, you change those settings. It's always going to be 20 minutes long and 1 round. Okay. And then after that, you're going to click the friends PK and you're going to search for your Bigo ID and click invite. I'm going to add a video to this chat, how to start a PK. So that way you guys have exactly how to start it. Okay. So there's that video there. Now let's see. So families are very important on Bigo because it's basically like your second home besides your agency. Now families, as long as those members are not in your agency, you can trade with them as much as you want. There's no percentage thing holding you back there. It's only 40% with your agency. So families on Bigo, if you want to find support on this social network that you can be a part of a family, this will help you to quickly increase your level. And there are also challenges and PKs between families that you can do as well. And I find that family PK rebates are much better than agency reward PKs. Okay. But especially as a new host, the friendly PKs, your agency, your families, I'm sorry, the agency PKs, the friendlies, and the themed PKs, those give you beans just for participating. So even if you lose, you get 750 free beans every time you do a friendly PK. And I'm sorry, I messed up before. It's 500 beans for the Bigo new PKs. So the friendlies and the Bigo new PKs are the ones that you guys want to be signing up for as new hosts. But the as you grow and you have more money to trade and more organic support, you'll want to join a family and do those PKs because those can give you up to 100% rebate back. So if you win the PK and you get 15,000 beans in that, you're going to get 15,000 beans back 3 weeks later, which is great because now you can use those to trade more or to pull it off the app and have extra money. So to join a family, that you must enter Bigo Live with your account, and you'll see in the lower left the icon that takes you to the profile screen again. Okay, and it's going to be, oops. Okay, oops. So the bottom left, it's got like a little house. I'm sorry, you're not gonna be able to see it. It's a little house. It's gonna take you back to this screen. There's these banners that swipe in the middle. Okay. So you're going to find the one that says family events. Bigo ID TV, family events. It's got a little castle. So if this is going to show your toolbox, all the different PKs that you can sign up for, and it'll show you the back end of the family that you're in. So basically with a family, I would just kind of feel it out on Bigo for a while and see what type of people are gifting you. And if you want any recommendations of good families, all of us agencies know of great families that you can join. I am in a Canadian family because Canadian families get the best rebates, better than America. And it's still part of North America, so you can still be in a Canadian family. I've only seen American PKs go up to like 90%, and Canadians can go up to 100%. So it's just up to you. You'll see who you start gravitating for. Once you see a family that you want to join, you just go to somebody's profile that's in that family, or go into that family tab and type in the family name, and then you'll have to request to join. And you know, we can help you get into one too, because sometimes there's so many applications in the big families, you have to have a connection to somebody that can get you in there. So I always suggest going to the top of the list when you see who's all in that family, and finding the family leader, and then sending them a message and saying, hey, you know, I really want to join. Can you add me? So agency PK versus family PK, I just talked about that, so we don't need to go over that. I already talked about my protocol with screenshots, so we don't need to go over that. So Bigo sometimes will message us with, and that's the Bigo profile with the verified check mark next to it. They will message you and let you know that you have a family PK. They're not very accurate as far as always making sure that they send them. So just make sure that you check with your family and your agency leader where those lists are, and check, you know, yourself. Don't rely on just getting the message from Bigo, because they won't tell you every time that you have one. They kind of pick and choose when they want to send the messages out. Rewards versus rebates. So rewards are given with agency events, and that basically, like I said earlier, means that even just for participating, whether you win or lose, you get a set reward. Rebates are with family PKs and some agency PKs, where whoever wins will get a percentage of what they got during that PK back 2 to 3 weeks later. Always check the sign up form. Okay. Oh yes. Always check the top of the sign up form that you're signing up for. It's going to tell you exactly what the requirements are for that specific PK and that specific event. So I always screenshot it, the ones that I sign up for, just so I remember, like, oh, for, you know, this PK, I get 75%, so on and so forth. It's just good to know that way when you're keeping track of if you win or lose, you know, how much you're exactly going to get. I have a book right here, and I write down everything that I do PK wise, because it's just really good for you to be able to refer back to in the spur of a moment. So I'm just going to give you a quick little example of what mine looks like. You're not going to be able to read it, but I make a chart. Okay. I make a chart, and what I do is I put the date and the time, I put the PK, and I put the score. And then I also put my opponent. And the reason why I put the score and what kind of PK it is, because then I'll know if I'm doing, and showing you an example. Candy Bash PK was a 75% rebate. So I put down my score. And then I can take that and go, okay, well, what's 75% of that? And then I put down next to it what I should be getting you as my rebate. What is 75% of that? So I know on this date and time during this PK against this person, I should get this much back. So as you're getting rewards and rebates back, you can go back into your wallet in your back end and make sure that you got everything. So it's just really good to like have a little chart, you know, that way you can keep track of it. I don't rely on Bigo to keep track of things properly. For myself, I like to make sure, because there have been times that I was missing stuff and I was like, wow, I didn't get that 25,000 beans that I was owed. Well, that was back on this day and time. So now I can go back into the Discord and find that day and time when I had that screenshot and send that in. And now we get it. You know, if you don't have all this information, you can just kiss those rewards goodbye. I'm not going to be able to find out the information for you guys. So that's, you know, up to you guys to make sure you all have that all set up still. Let's see. We are almost done, and we are going to be able to wrap it up a little bit early, unless we have a lot of questions. But let's see what else we got here. A couple more things. So when you're off live, it is really important to be on Bigo. Going into other broadcasters' lives and gifting those that are close to your level, touch on how it really makes a huge impact for someone new to receive a shield or even 99 maces versus a more popular established broadcaster who will most likely not return it to you. So if you go into God Zeus's panel that's like sitting on 14 freaking boxes and you send him a shield, he's not going to remember that and come back and give you a shield. He's got like 3,000 people in his room. But if you go to another level 15 brand new broadcaster and you go and send 99 maces, which sends a airplane across the screen, they're going to notice that and be like, oh my God, thank you so much. Who are you? Then you get in the comments, I'm Zen, I'm a new broadcaster, would love to network, blah, blah, blah. Now they're going to follow you back. Now they're probably going to come back and show you some love. But one thing that's really important is if somebody comes into your room and gives you a gift, that is not a trade. That is a gift, and you do not have to go back and return it. If you want to do a trade with somebody, you need to have a conversation with that person and make it known that this is what you're going to be doing. You're going to come to my PK tomorrow. You're going to drop 5K, and then you're going to let me know when you need it back. She may not get a PK for 3, 4, 5 days. You need to make sure that you keep that 5K and drop it back when that person wants it. Don't come back later and say, oh, I spent it. Okay, well, that person's never going to work with you again, and we're all going to spread your name around the app not to work with you. So just make sure that, both of those things. If somebody comes into your live and gives you a gift, you don't have to give it back. The point is for you to make money. But I would, if they're another host and they're the same level as you, I'd go back there and at least give them what the conversion was, send them a couple maces, a couple bells or something, just to make it, seem like, it's just a good networking tactic, basically. When you're sitting on other people's panels in those multi-lives, just be conscious of how much you're spending. Your hours only count in a multi if you're hosting it. If you're sitting on somebody else's panel, you're not getting hours for that. So be mindful of that as well. Okay. Don't discuss trading on your live or anybody else's in the comments. On Bigo, we say do business. If you want to initiate a conversation with somebody new and say, hey, do you want to do business with me? Then send me your WhatsApp number into my DMs and we'll talk on there. Bigo doesn't want to know that we're trading with people because that's essentially us taking advantage of the system and making money. So we all do it, but just don't talk about it on the app. Live data is going to be your, it was delayed by 30 hours, but now it looks like 30 minutes, it's 30 minutes behind, and it's been really accurate the last couple of weeks. But that is going to show you where you're at as far as your quota, how many beans, how many fans you've gotten, how many hours you've gotten, and so on and so forth. So you can find that in the back end of your profile. If you go to Bigo and you go to the bottom right of your screen, and you're seeing this again, you're seeing this list. Mine, this is too bright. I'm sorry, guys. I need to take screenshots of all this for my next training. It's going to be back here. If you are brand new and you just auditioned a day or two ago, it may not be there. It's going to be underneath my post. Okay, it's going to be live data. You're not going to be able to see this clearly. It takes a second to load, but it'll show you where you're at bean wise, fan wise, hours wise, and then it'll give you a red or a green percentage arrow and say, oh, well, you're down. I'm down 23% in beans right now from last month. That's sad, but I'm up 10% in followers. So that's good. So it kind of like lets you know, and you can scroll over too. You can scroll over and there's different pages of stuff. So it's just kind of cool. You get to see like the metrics of, your lives and such. So kind of good to pay attention to. Oops, not the right one. So an important thing about the multi-live, when you are the host of a multi, you can close all of your seats by clicking on the viewers. You know how when you're live and in the top right corner, you can click and see everybody that's in your room. It's going to be the same way when you're on a multi-live. But when you click on that in a multi-live, it's going to allow you to go to the invitation mode, the settings mode, to where you can change it to where you can lock your boxes and people have to request to come up. If you leave it unlocked, anybody that presses join can like jump up on in your boxes, and that's not cool. Don't ever do that. Always change it to invitation mode and control your live, because you never know if there's somebody that's not a host that's going to come up in there and be doing something totally inappropriate that could get you banned. Because if they're doing something inappropriate on your live, even though it's on your multi and it's not you, you could still get banned. I had a guy one time come up in my box and he was masturbating and I got banned for it. And it was really gross. So yeah, just be mindful of that. He was from a totally different country, didn't even speak English. So people from other countries will try to do that to women.
I'm dead. That did happen to me once.
It happened to you already?
Yeah, well, like last time I was on live before I got on again, when we first started this, like when I was on live before, like a few years ago, that happened. I was like, that's so disgusting.
Yeah.
Like seriously.
Yeah. And you know, then you're like, oh my God, you know, you're embarrassed. Everybody that's in your live has seen it. They're laughing. You know, and then hopefully Bigo's little robot AI system didn't catch that, because even if you like that day that I pulled him up in my box, he was like really like on the camera, like you could see it. Okay. And I closed my whole live. I like completely exited out. And my 2 minutes later, it wouldn't let me log into my Bigo account. And it said that I was for pornography. And I had to pay 250 SVIP points, which was like $400 or $500 to get my page unbanned. So if you ever do get banned, you guys, you can get unbanned. It's just going to cost you money. There's top broadcasters that get banned 3-4 times a day, but they have like big gifters that just go, oh, I'll just get you unbanned right now. It's fine. Because the people that are spending a lot of money are the people that have the SVIP points. They're the gifters that have the SVIP points. So, you know, sometimes you can get it for free. I've gotten a lot of bans for free, but I've also paid for a lot too. But a year and a half down the road, I think I've pretty much got it figured out on what they're going to ban me for and what they're not. So I know when I'm pushing the envelope, and you'll start to learn that too. You know, if you're like a woman and you want to be on here dancing and stuff, just dance a little bit and stop. Just don't constantly dance. If you're going to be doing something that's, you know, that you think that you could be getting banned for, just don't consistently be doing. Like if you're going to be driving a car is going to get you banned. But sometimes you see people driving all the time. But, you know, just aim it like up towards, I don't suggest doing it at all, because first of all, nobody's going to be able to see you. People are just going to be swiping through your live and be like, oh, wow, like they're boring. They're like driving right now. Like I'm never going to come back here. You know what I mean? Like it just looks bad for you as a broadcaster. But then you can also get banned. But if you absolutely have to, for some reason, don't show that you're actually like driving, you know, like face it up towards the ceiling. All they're going to see is the roof of your car, which sucks for your broadcast, but you probably won't get banned that way. But just don't do it. More tips. So if you guys want to download PixArt, let me write this in the chat. Where did it go? PixArt and Spark Post. These are two super user-friendly, easy apps that you can download that you can create all of those cool flyers that you see on Bigo. Because if you are going to be a consistent streamer and you want to be live at 5 p.m. PST every day, then you should make a cool flyer that has a picture of you and when you're live, and put that as one of your 5 profile pictures. So when people are swiping through your profile pictures, they know, oh, she's live at 5 o'clock every day. Or like me, I have the Bad Bitch Club, and it's a club of women who support each other. We do a talk show every Friday night. So I've got a flyer of my Bad Bitch Club and when they can find us. The flyer is also promoted on Bigo TV. guide. I have a really big connection with the marketing team here on Bigo. So if any of you guys have an idea of an event or a competition or a show that you want to do, pitch it to me. I will pitch it to them and we'll see if we can get it on the TV guide. Maybe a little bit harder as a new host, but you know, we can at least try, you know. Let's see what else. There's only a couple more things and then we're done. I already talked about making sure that you have a prior conversation about trading with people before throwing on them. And if you do a trade with somebody and they drop on you in your PK, please do not go back to their like solo live like right away and drop it during that, because that's not usually what they want. They want you to wait for it for a PK. So don't just like automatically like go straight back to them and drop it on them unless that's what they ask for. Okay, just make sure that you have a very clear conversation about how you want the trade and how much before it's done. So it's a really good practice to network with other signed hosts at the same account level as you. Post to your bar. Your bar is like the blog of Bigo. It's like your Instagram feed. You can find that in that back profile section as well. Or if you just go directly to your profile, there'll be a blue bar that pops up that says post. You can click that and it'll let you post. Try to post pictures and videos every day. It helps you gain exposure. Even if you're live and you just take a screenshot and post it when you get off and say, thanks so much, Fred. And you can tag Fred and put his Bigo ID and it'll tag him on the actual post and say, thank you so much for the gifts. I really appreciate it. And put the screenshot of him sending you a shield. He's going to love that. And then he's going to come back and give you more. So don't forget to do that. I'm not that good with that. I always forget to do that, but it actually helps out a lot because people can just go to the blog section and look at all of the posts and find a new broadcaster that way too. So the more you're posting, the more your exposure you get, the more you can get seen. And make sure that you're sharing your own live when you log on and a couple times in between as well. Share them to your groups on WhatsApp, your Facebook, your Twitter, your Instagram, your friends list and your fans lists on Bigo, and do it multiple times. It really will increase your viewers. You can make deals with somebody and say, hey, we want to come through and do a fan lottery for 300 beans and I'll do one on your next live, and have somebody come in and do a fan lottery, or send a hot sword, which is 1,000 diamonds, or any gift that has a little red or orange flame next to it means that it's going to send people into your room and raise your heat. So those are really good gifts to trade with other people as well. And please be mindful when you're sharing on WhatsApp. Don't share into groups that are not share groups. Okay, there's specific groups that you're going to be in that are specifically for shares. So make sure that you're sharing it in those groups. You can share it to, specific people as well, but that is it for today's training. I want to go ahead and open up the floor and see who has any questions, any clarifications that need to be made based on everything that we talked about today. Any questions?
How exactly does the trading work?
Trading?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so first of all, you're going to want to set up a PK. And who asked that? Was that Yvonne?
No, that was me, Nico.
Oh, Nico. Okay, so you will go into WhatsApp or Discord and find the PK sign up and find one that you want. And then if you want to do a trade with somebody, right now your network is very small. Okay, and with trading, people are not going to trade with people that they don't know. So if you were to say, hey, Zen, I need somebody to trade with, I would probably be the one that trades with you, or I'd ask one of my close friends to do it for you out of the agency. Okay. But I can add you guys to, I'm working on making some trade groups and finding some trade groups for beginning hosts. And I will send that into a group, and you can just basically go into that group and say, hey, I'm looking for a 5K trade right now or tomorrow or whenever it is, and set it up that way.
Okay, cool.
Also, when you're finding the same people coming into your lives, like hosts, like levels and stuff like that, you can always ask them to, like when you're on live, like, hey, are you interested in doing business? And they'll say yes or no, and then ask them to get your WhatsApp number and just talk about it to them directly. Send them a message and say, hey, this is when I want it. This is how much I want. Do you have it? And they'll say yes or no.
Okay.
Yep. And really use that agency alliance host chat. And the breaking records one too, but really the alliance one, because that one's going to have people from other agencies. Just say what you're looking for, when you're looking for it, and see if anybody's interested.
Okay.
And if nobody reaches out, one of us agency owners can help you, as well. So even if you're in my agency, I'll probably ask like Yetta or Zeditor or something like that to do a trade. And if not, I have my whole Bad Bitch Club crew and a lot of people that I trust on here. So.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Any other questions? Cool. So we're going to go ahead and wrap it up for today. Don't forget, you guys, use that host chat, that Agency Alliance host chat and the Breaking Records host chat. If you guys have any questions in between, just do it on there. I know that I have your guys' personal numbers as well, but messaging me on WhatsApp is going to be way more effective because I'm checking that bazillion times a day, because that's where all of like the business for Bigo takes point. So I always make sure that I check that before my regular messages, before my mom and my dad and all that crap, because like that's the business. So if you can't get a hold of me on my cell, go to the WhatsApp, first and foremost. And then we'll eventually be making the Discord more active as well. But for now, just use the WhatsApp. But all right, cool. So I'm gonna end this recording. I will post it on